Baptist minister, and then and stories about the 10 principles, and kind of tell how we can each be the change and how the 10 principles can do it. And then we would ride around the city dressed all in pink and say, I love you, or give a compliment to everyone we pass. We would have this ribbon of people all in pink going through the city, this pink ribbon going, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Then we get to center camp and make a big swirling cinnamon swirl hug. I was like, more of this. I want more of this, more of this. So Pink Heart was a way, how could we make a container of that vibe of like radical inclusion, of support, of hugs, and really making a place where we could digest this mind-blowingness and really integrate it so that how it can change who we are in the world on a permanent default world and now virtual world basis.
And Pink Heart is here in
Yes,
BRCVR. We have Pink Heart
absolutely.
Camp, and maybe next time we do a talk, we'll do it at Pink Heart.
And so the cool thing about that is that so when Pink Heart first became a part of BRCVR, uh, my physical campmates, a lot of them were very kind of, they were disconnected from the experience of the community. At the same time, something that I did when the pandemic started, I started hosting twice a day gratitude circles in a Zoom room. So we could, and it was almost like, how could we do a Pink Heart like vibe in our homes? So at the time, Zoom was the tool that we were using. So then when Pink Heart was built in BRCVR, and my physical campmates were kind of all not really connected, it was these people, the Zoom community, that said, hey, can we step in and become your campmates? Can we be Pink Heart in this virtual space? And so it became the vibe, it became the heart connections that were irrelevant of the venue and the space. And so now these communities are all intertwined in through virtual space and through physical space, and it's been an awesome evolution, just as it is with the Burning Man community within Pink Heart. It's totally intention based, not space based.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see the like a whole other Pink Heart camp form in the metaverse. It was like
Right.
this other group, and it was great. And what you're doing with Hug Nation is actually really remarkable because you're bringing people together all over the world. It you had been doing this for a while, but you ramped it up because of the pandemic,
Right.
and it's serving this. It's fulfilling the need of immediacy, which is right here, our 10th principle. Well, they're not in any order, but um, it's fulfilling that need of immediacy, that people have this immediate need to connect.
Right. And that's one of the incredible life-changing parts about this community is that sense of radical inclusion and that supporting of radical self-expression. And I think that you don't realize, I mean, it's been such a part of my life for so long that I have sometimes forgotten how transformative it can be to have a place where if you are being genuine and authentic, people celebrate that. That how you can just break through all of these walls and these sense of our I think in the default world, we forget that we're almost in a state of constant auditioning. We're constantly trying to play the role that we're supposed to be. We're trying to play the role that we're supposed to be, trying to play the role we're supposed to be. And then when you get around people, they're like, is that you being you? Like, yes, do that, more of that. Or I love what you're doing. It's a little loud and obnoxious for me. I'm going to stand over here, but I'm so glad you're doing it. And so to have that vibe be then brought into all these, into the virtual world, we have so many more people that are able to be embraced. So many more people that are drawn to that community vibe, don't have the opportunity or whatever to get to it in a physical desert environment. So I saw so many people go, and I continue to witness so many people, as I keep hearing stories about in BRC VR as well. People, when you get that uh, that that incredible gift of belonging and acceptance, then you just blossom. It's tragic that so few people get that, and it's at the same time it's so encouraging and so magical that we're able to, through tools like this, able to scale this so more and more and more and more people can stop auditioning and just showing up, and then that's how the world's changed. I think. I don't think we can possibly fix the problems of the world when we're continually trying to be the role that we've been, default world has trained us to be. It's only in the place of stopping fitting in the box and instead allowing your truth to come out. I think the solutions to the world problems can happen. I mean, that's what I mean. I think that this as fun as all of this is, I believe it is the most significant activism that we can do, is to create an environment where people are allowed to let these things come out from them, and to support them and to allow them. I mean, who are we to say that a divinely inspired puppet show isn't what's going to inspire someone to have the creation that allows us to X, Y, Z to some solution? And so I think that yeah.
Well, this allows us to more radically express ourselves. I mean, look at everyone's an avatar.
Or not.
Some are invisible.
Yeah. I mean, I think that when I first discovered Burning Man and was given the permission to show up exactly as I wanted to, and I'm like, well, I mean, you mean I can like be a superhero, or at least what a superhero is to me, which was a whole bunch of pink fur and a lot of overtly sexual costuming, which is slightly subdued over time. But in that avatar space, it just starts to just chip away of all of those limitations, and I don't, you can't, like Jung talked about how if you are trying to control your shadow impulses, when you're trying to keep the raw stuff from flowing out, you don't just keep out the bad stuff, you don't just keep out the embarrassing, shameful stuff, you keep everything out. And so when we start to like open up that pipeline and allow ourselves to be the avatar, when we allow ourselves to express the thing, the thought, the silliness, the rawness, we tune into this like really powerful library or collective unconscious stuff. And so I think it's a long time ago, when you said you went to Burning Man or you were into Burning Man, people would so quickly go to, oh, you're a raver or you're into drugs or whatever. And I think what's amazing now is that more and more and more people are having this transformative tune in to that collective unconscious power and showing up in these really powerful ways. And then we've got things like the Smithsonian arts and leaders of industry and that are publicly saying they go to Burning Man. And so I think we're now seeing this shift where it is a legitimate world-changing movement. I'm a believer. Anyone else a believer?
Yeah.
I had someone. I went to Love Burn, which is the Miami physical Burning Man event, and I love sharing the 10 principles. I love kind of helping people to go from like, what the hell is this, to get to that participant level as soon as possible. I've been making how-to tips and tricks videos on YouTube for almost 20 years of how to understand how the principles are significant. How do you practice gifting in the default world? Why are you an artist? How do you embrace the idea of like, oh, I'm just here to check it out, to recognize, oh no, I am an artist. I am part of this. And so as I went to the event and I kept getting, I tend to, as you'll notice, I can just start talking. And so one person was like, man, you're quite a self-promoter. And at first I was started to defend myself, and then I was like, you know what? I'm a believer. I believe the 10 principles. I believe that gratitude. I believe that this stuff is a very legitimate way to evolve personally and to change the world. So I'm not going to knock down your door, but if you're going to open the door and keep nodding, I'm going to keep telling you why gifting will change the world.
Absolutely, and why these principles, in my mind, are the strong foundational fabric for creative collaboration to thrive on. And when you look at what's happening here in the digital space, it's a lot of creative collaboration. It's a lot of people coming together to share ideas, to build together, to share information. When we first did VRCVR, most of the artists that were going to participate had no idea how to build anything in the virtual space. But in uh, oh my God. Thank you, everyone. By the way, you just sent me messages to amplify. Thank you. Thank you. Um, for all the people uh, that had to come in that only knew hammer and nails. You know, they
Yeah.
could weld something, they could hammer something, they could nail something, and now they had to learn a whole new way of creating art. And the alt space community answered that call. It was really amazing to watch how many people on our Discord channel were, oh, I don't know how to get this shader to work. Oh, you do A, B, C, and D. Oh, okay. And oh, my model looks like melting ice cream. Oh, well, you just need to click this button and now it'll hold. And oh, and how do I make this firework? And the answers were just free forming. And the only other place I had really seen that level of communal effort was at Burning Man. And it was just organically happening because we all had that same common goal, that
Yeah.
goal of envisioning and embodying these principles.
That was when I witnessed that with someone in the Pink Heart digital community that had never gone to Burning Man, and I was still kind of getting my bearings. This is the first year of VRCVR and trying to kind of get my head around how is this like Burning Man, and yes, it looks like Burning Man. And then a woman in the community, Teal, I'm not sure if she's here, but she
I don't see her.
went into this new space, got totally inspired, and realized what can I create? And so she went through the process of learning to use all these new tools and then built this incredible sculpture, within the Pink Heart space. And I'm like, this is
She just showed
exactly,
up.
hey, hello. Like, this is exactly inspiring stories that you hear at Burning Man within this tiny space in the desert of people becoming a part of community, getting inspired, learning skills, really stepping into their identity as an artist. And so it's 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 so encouraging to see that happening here, but from so many people. So thank you, Teal.
Yeah, thank you, Teal.
So can I share another just like uh, another way that like gifting like has, I think, is so transformative is, when you start to realize, and is everyone here, does everyone know what gifting is? I assume that you do if you're but let me
With
just,
some heart emojis if you know what gifting is.
yeah. Okay, so I love talking about it, and I talk about to people that have no interest in Burning Man because I think gifting, is one of the easiest ways for people to start to shift their whole identity in the world. When you start to realize that making someone else's day better makes your day better, making someone else happy can make you happy. And when you start to realize that your target zone for your own happiness, that we've been trained in the default world to make yourself happier, you get more. You add to yourself, you get stuff, you get whatever. That's status, prestige. But when you're in this community, you realize, oh, if I can make someone else have a good experience, if I can help someone, if I can build someone that they of their mind, that's the juice. That's what makes something amazing. And then when you start to realize that you can apply that mindset to the entire world, and you start to just look for opportunities to help, I think that is the fastest route to changing the world. I just want to share a couple examples that I'm really like excited about right now. Like right after this event, I'm going to go downtown, San Diego, California, where I have a group called First Saturdays. So we just celebrated
I
12
love First
years.
Saturdays.
it was inspired by the 10 principles. And we're like, how can we do gifting year round? And when sometimes it's everybody's gifting in the Burning Man environment. Sometimes it's almost like competitive, like please come here so I can give you some food. Please come over here. But in every city of the world, there's people downtown that would love a clean pair of socks. We said, well, let's just kind of create a theme camp in our city where we're like abundance camp, and we'll go get together and give away our old clothes and new socks and food. And so every week or every month, we go out and we get to have this awesome experience of making ourselves happier by making other people happier. And I consider it almost like it's like an outreach to teach people, not people who have not discovered the 10 principles, this like visceral experience of how incredible gifting feels. And so then you start to just change your identity of someone who is not trying to succeed in the traditional capitalist ways, trying to succeed in the ways of like, I want to be happier. And the easiest way to do that is to make other people happier. And so the other way that has become just incredible is a story that just happened in the last week for me and Hug Nation and Pink Heart is, so in these gratitude circles that I've been doing, people have been showing up, and it's the same basic lesson of trying to teach people radical inclusion, trying to teach people that when you show up authentically, you will be celebrated. And then trying to teach people that gifting opportunity of like, if you are a love ambassador, you just start looking at the world of like, how could I make this better? How can I make this better?
Right.
All day long, you can have an opportunity to like smile at somebody and say hello and good morning. But every once in a while, the world will just open a door. And if you are already in that headset of like looking for the opportunities, you'll be like, holy shit, I can be a hero, like a hero today. And so a week ago, somebody in our group, Anna, who lives in the Ukraine, she had to flee Kiev with her 2 kids, her 2 teenagers and her dog. And she basically just, with nothing, got on a train, headed towards the Poland border. At the same time, someone else in our group in Paris got in their car and just started driving. We picked up another person in our group in Aachen, Germany, drove 10 hours to get him, to 10 more hours to the Polish border. By that time, Anna and her kids had gotten train to train and gotten through the border. They picked her up and drove 20 hours back to Paris, where she is now surrounded by all these people that are connected through this intention, through these principles, through this like idea of belonging and community. And this guy who just in Paris just got in his car, he's no superhero. He's not a transit, or he just like said, he just is starting to live as like, where can I gift? Where can I gift? And then the universe was like, dude, you could do something. And he did. I just find that so inspiring that we all have the opportunity to do little things, and every once in a while, a huge thing. So, yes! Such a good story that Athena just like blew up. So I've actually since that story happened a week ago, or it's in the process of happening, and so I have been walking up to strangers at the beach and at the store and say, hey, can I tell you a 2-minute story? Which is exactly what I would do here or at Burning Man, because I know we've agreed to this community idea that like we're gifting and we're connected and we're open to expression and truth and all these beautiful things. But in the default world, it's way harder because we haven't all consented to being family. But the more that you practice it in these safe places, I think the stronger you get and you build your muscles up. And so that then when you get out in the world and you go, you know what? This person might not nod along and say, yeah, but maybe they are. Maybe they're like one of us before we found this and we were just hungry for it. And so I've just been like, hey, can I tell you a 2-minute story? Hey, can I tell you a story? And my ratio is about 70% enthusiastic, yes. About 20%, please don't talk to me. And I'm not sure what my math is. Like 10% of people who are not receptive. But it's so, I think that what's so important about like being there for each other in these cases is that then you get stronger so that when you go out into the world and you show that courage and you are expressive, you're creative and you show your heart and your truth, occasionally people are going to shut it down. They're going to roll their eyes. They're going to judge you. They're going to do what society does, which is try to put you back. when you practice it and you know you've got people like us that you got your back, you get knocked down, you just go, you know what? I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna tell one more person. I'm gonna tell the story one more time. I'm gonna put the pink back on. I'm gonna just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because when you do connect with somebody that goes, oh, I've been waiting for one of you to give me permission. It's so rewarding, and I think it's so important.
Yeah. We'll see how long I can actually stay in this time. I've been in VR all day long, and now is when my internet decides to bleep out. For me, I know gifting is super important, and the principle that is your guiding light. My guiding light is communal effort. I love bringing people together. And so when you told the story about what was going on in the Ukraine and Anna, and that was like when you first posted that on Facebook, I was in tears. I was in tears because the communal effort spark in my heart was singing. They answered the immediate call, everyone participating. Communal effort like brings all the principles together. So that was like grand communal effort to save someone, to help someone, to bring someone into the fold. And these are people that had only met on a Zoom call. They had never met in person before, right?
Some of them had connected and some of them had not, but as a community,
Okay.
most of them are just connected through uh, stories and through sharing their gratitude on a daily basis. Yeah.
Ah, that's just so remarkable.
Yeah.
Absolutely remarkable. But
And
this is
what's been
what
so
we do.
cool, like, so since I posted that story, the number of people who have just wanted to help, and I was marveling this morning. So one of the guys who was in the car that picked Anna up, Alex, he got dropped back off in Aachen, Germany. He rented a minivan, and he's now on his way to the border to pick up more people. And so I said, hey, if anybody wants his PayPal, if you want to send him gas money, let me know. And person after person after person is going, what's his PayPal? I want to give him gas money. And then people are thanking me profusely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me his email. And I'm like, it's so beautiful how hungry we are to be in community, how hungry we are
Hmm.
to have the opportunities to demonstrate our care and support for one another.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be humane beings to each other.
Yeah.
We don't actually want the hate and the violence and the screaming and the yelling and the separation and the dividing us apart. That's not actually in our instinct. Our instinct is to be together.
Yeah. But I think that one of the things we have to work against is that there's a lot of, and I can speak for the cultures that I've grown up in, but there's a lot of, United States pressure to not be taken advantage of, to like protect
Hmm.
yourself, to not be a sucker, to not be too vulnerable. If sometimes people say like, "Oh man, someone at the gas station ran out of gas, and so I filled their tank," and immediately go, "Oh man, you got taken advantage of. You got," and so we're so protective of possibly being too nice, or when we see an example of somebody, it's almost like we're like, "Oh gosh, we can do that." Allowed to just be nice to a stranger for no
Yeah.
reason, even maybe nice to someone who doesn't even need it. You just go, "Oh, you're human. It would make your day easier for me to buy your coffee." Okay, done.
Yeah.
I think it's those are the kind of the ripples that happen that we don't realize how much power we have in changing the world just by being that, be the change. I mean, it's not be the change meaning like you march and sacrifice your physical safety on a daily basis. It's be the change like, oh, recognize that I'm connected with you, so I'm going to say hello and good morning rather than put my head.
Yeah. Make eye contact.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just that simple. Like a lot of times we don't look at, in general, people tend not to look at homeless people. And I know with your First Saturdays project, you don't just give them socks. You connect. You have a conversation. You touch them.
Right.
It's like you give them that connection that we most definitely need. And I do that even here when I'm in Mexico. If I see, and there actually aren't that many, but if I see homeless people on the street, I make eye contact I say hello to them. You know, everybody when you're walking on the street, they say buenos dias, buenas tardes, like they talk to each other. But the homeless people are just left. And I don't do that. I say hello. If I have some change, I give them change. If if I have some food on me or something like that, and I do try to connect because that human connection is one of the most valuable gifts that we have to offer.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think a lot of people they struggle with the guilt of 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 someone who is homeless, and so this feeling of like, well, I can't give money to everyone, and or I don't. But what you're saying is that is so true that looking someone in the eye and saying sorry or not today or good luck is so significant. When that I tell people I don't give money to panhandlers. I don't give money to people that are begging. I don't think that's to me that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like a gifting experience. I'd rather find ways to give to someone who needs it in different venues. So, but I do look everyone in the eye that I can and just say, sorry, good luck, have a good day. When we do First Saturdays and we give those and care packs and all these things, tell people we circle up all the volunteers first, and I say, look, everything we're doing is just a prop. It's just an opportunity to have an interaction with somebody and to treat them with dignity. And the vibe is so significant because of that. Because yes, people are hungry. They're going to be hungry tomorrow. But what they might not have tomorrow is that memory that, oh, I'm a human being. And if you've spent much time with people who are experiencing homelessness, the dehumanizing effect of being no one looking at you is so devastating. It is when people say thank you after First Saturdays, sometimes they're like, wow, I got some cool clothes, this was great, but they're almost always touched by people laughing with them and listening to their story and looking them in the eye and just treating them like a human being. And that's something that sometimes we feel like, oh, when I get enough resources, then I'm going to go do something important. I'm going to go help people once I kind of get my own needs met. Like, you don't have to get your needs met. You can be homeless yourself and say hello to people. And so it's a trap that we have culturally, I think, of feeling like we need to be protect ourselves. And the other thing that I try to help myself and other people get over is that fear of being taken advantage of. I have a philosophy that I talk about called the optimism tax. That every once in a while, you are going to have to pay the optimism tax. Let's say you do buy someone's gas and it turns out they were scamming people. Let's say you set your bag down and someone takes it. Now, one of the conclusions that you can come to in that situation is like, man, people suck. I am not going to let that happen to me anymore. I'm not going to trust people anymore. I'm going to close my heart off so that never happens to me again. But that choice is so expensive. You are closing yourself to everyone who is amazing in the world. If instead you just say every once in a while, whoops, I just got a heavy hit of optimism tax. What you get in return is you get to continue living in that world where almost everyone is awesome. That is priceless. So good luck with your optimism tax. Hopefully it isn't often, but know that it is so worth it.
I love that. I had never heard the optimism tax. I'm going to use that from now on because that does happen. But
Sure.
it's worth it. It's worth it, and it actually isn't that much when you weigh the feeling and the connection, and you still had a connection with that person, and they're still going to that's still going to have a lasting trace effect.
Right.
So even if in the immediate there was a negative feeling, in the long run, the gift that you give, the optimism that you spread, the love that you share, does have a lasting effect, even if in the immediate it breaks down.
Right. I mean, I like sometimes it's a cumulative effect. When you go to a small town, if you're from a big city, the first time you're walking down the street and someone goes, hello, you're like, what? You might not wave back. The second time someone's like, hello, good morning, you're like, this place is weird. Like the fourth or fifth time that somebody drives by and waves at you, you're like, oh, we wave each other here. And so you start waving. And as you're going through the world and you're being nice to people, you might be the first person that they're nice to. And you're just adding to it until someone goes, oh crap, I could be more open. And as far as like, is it worth it? Think about, what would you pay to live in a world where you could walk up to people and be treated like you're treated here? Where people just are interested and they're curious and they share with you their dreams and their art and their creativity. I mean, wouldn't you pay everything? The optimum tax isn't everything. It's just a little bit every once in a while. And then you get to have the opportunity of living in that world.
We're very fortunate here, especially in alt space, because we're generally a larger open community. There's little communities in alt space, but we all intermingle and we all work together and we all like working together. So we're very fortunate on this platform to have this great community of people that like working together. The metaverse isn't just the digital world. You know, we're talking a lot about what's going on in the physical world, and the metaverse is actually how the physical and the digital worlds converge and how the principles can actually work between them. So the metaverse is that interlacing between the two. How can we bring this beautiful, loving space that we have here in the digital space and bring it home to us so that our physical space is more of a digital twin of our digital space. So it's not about making our digital space more like the physical space, but sometimes it's making the physical space more like our digital.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, that it's not luck why the vibe here is good. It's because there's cultivation and there's hosts and there's this culture of educating one another, role modeling, you know, and that the lesson from that in any environment, any, you know, new technology, this technology, the default world, it's the same lessons that we can be hosts. You know, we can constantly be helping people and by role modeling. And I think that this is such a beautiful training ground, you know, for us to be better people and to help other people be better people.
Yeah.
A little bit of a zealot. Is it obvious? Woo!
You and I have been talking about the principles since the day they were presented. You know, in 2004, Larry presented the principles. And actually, he didn't present them like, this is what you should be doing. It wasn't like that at all. He wasn't like Moses on the mountain. It was a few of us burners were organizing communities in our cities. Not that Dave in New York, me in LA. There were a couple others in Austin. And we had city governments asking us, like, we're filling out permit applications, and they're like, well, what is Burning Man and who are you people? And we needed that answer. So we went to Burning Man, the organization, and said, we need this answer. And Larry went off and thought about it and wrote down what he saw us already doing. He just described what we were already doing, what it meant to be a burner. And so that we could then tell our communities and our governments in our area, be good, civic, responsible burners, one of the principles, and tell them what it was that we were doing. There was actually 9 of them. There were only 9, and he came back to the organization and said, okay, here you go. And they're like, 9? Really? Can't you do 10? Like, make it a nice round number, 9? And he went back and he thought about it for a while and added immediacy, which actually ended up being one of our most valuable touchstone principles that we have is immediacy, and that was the one that got added in, and I think it's one of our most important ones because it's our be here now, be in this present moment, and identify the needs within this present moment and act upon those. And from that, we can like wrap our way around all of these principles and be like, well, okay, in the immediate moment, I can be participating. Well, participation is right over there. To radically express myself is right over there. And bring everybody in, radically include everyone to participate. Well, that creates communal effort. And then it's a gift. But in order for that gift to be pure, you have to decommodify it. Decommodification is one of the hardest things for people to wrap their brain around. And all it's saying is make that gift pure. Give without an expectation of a return. And that is why decommodification is there. It's not saying, oh, don't make any money. It's saying give from your heart. Give because it's part of you and you want to share it. Don't add that that need for reciprocity to it, because now you're commodifying the gift and it's just a transaction. But all of these fit together here in the digital world and in the physical world, and where those two meet. And it's beautiful to watch them in action. And I have to say, when I'm around people that say, I'm a burner, I know who they are, because these 10 principles are in play. So it's the people that it's who I want to be, and the people that I would like to be around.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful framework, because if someone says I'm a burner, that really tells you nothing about the what they do, what their politics are. It doesn't tell you anything about their age. All it tells you is that they are within this freedom of, like, do whatever the hell you want. I'm also going to be making sure that I am, not leaving a trace. I'm going to be doing all these things that allow me to have incredible amounts of freedom and expression, but also do so in a way that if I follow the principles while I'm doing whatever, even while I'm partying, if I'm doing these things, I'm going in the direction of good. I'm going in the direction of helping people and supporting people and making things better. And so even though we can be vastly different in what we do and how we think and what we're following, if we can keep within the guidelines of the principles, then it's just like you can relax and go, I know that I'm on the right track. To me.
So we have like 15 minutes left till the top of the hour, and you have first Saturdays to go get ready for. Maybe we should take some questions from the audience.
I'd love that.
Okay, so I am going to allow hand raises. So if you guys want to raise your hands, and I will call on you and give you the megaphone, and then you can ask your question. So go ahead, and you'll see down below little hand raise, little hand. You could also, in your emoji circle, click on that hand raise, and that will also allow your hands to come up, and then I can call on you. Anybody have any questions? Or they have a story they want to relay, or something they want to say about the principles, or some way that they have brought them into their lives. Anybody? Wow. Really? Let's tell another story.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I got somebody. It's like fishing, it's like, oh, there's somebody on the line. There's somebody on the line. Okay, Mr. Mail, you have the megaphone. Go ahead. Mister? Here we go.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say that your example, John, has really been a transformative portion of my life, and like I like what you have so many different outlets, in the sense that you can be accessed through like your YouTube Hug channel, your Facebook live broadcast, Instagram live broadcast, your daily gratitude Zooms. Like, it's amazing, and truly grateful to have a good example. I've never been to Burning Man, but it sounds amazing, and these principles are pretty easy to live by if you're conscious and aware of it. And so I wanted to say thank you for taking the time and dedication to broadcasting it out to the world, to those who are interested and maybe not know the real truth about what Burning Man really is. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mail. Thank you. It's really uh I feel like this the 10 principles transform my life so dramatically that it's such an honor and a treat to be able to share that with anyone who's receptive to it, and then to do what we're all doing is of stepping into the host role and showing other people. I think that's one of the neat ideas is that 10 principles and this community, there's no period where you have to train and get a certain amount of experience under your belt before you can help. The minute you're here, you are a janitor, you're a host, you're a leader, you're an artist, you're a creator. If you feel connected, and you are deputized to be a helper. And so I'm so glad that it's received. Thank you.
I actually just recalled an interesting story, and then I'm going to call on Teal. I was going through a really difficult time right after my divorce, and I felt like I was in pieces, that I had nothing of myself. I was just like scattered. And I came up with an idea to embody each principle for a week as much as I consciously could. So as you said, is consciously aware of the principles. And so like I started with leave no trace, and I would walk my dog and pick up all the garbage in the neighborhood. And I did that for a week and looked at all the ways that I could embody leave no trace, that I could embody decommodification, that I could embody immediacy, and really focused on it. And after 10 weeks, I actually did it for 15 weeks. Um, I, I felt more whole. It was because I was consciously concentrating on an aspect of who I am within the principles. I felt like I put myself back together. And it was just like an interesting practice that I came up with, and I tried, and then it worked for me. But when she was saying, like, if you're aware of it and you're conscious of it, then they are fulfilling. And it reminded me of this thing that I did back in 2011 to try to put myself
That's
back
cool.
together.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah. Teal, why don't you have the megaphone? Where'd she go? There she is.
And me.
Mm-hmm.
Teal, you're up.
a quick story while we're waiting. So
Hey,
in
just
She's, I
can
think
you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm not hearing her. Are you hearing her?
I can't hear anything. No.
No. Teal, we're not hearing you.
Me right now?
try re-entering because it seems
Yeah.
like you're jittering like a frame rate. So just re-enter.
So give that a go. And then Charlie San. Well, while she's going to try to get her audio working, let's give Charlie the megaphone. Oops. Oops.
Yeah,
Charlie. There we go. Now you have the megaphone.
Who here, by the show of hands, has been to Burning Man? 1, like 3, 4. Okay, and I'm guessing that's at least once.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7. 8.
Now it's a matter of asking who intends on returning to Burning Man. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those same 8 people.
Okay, that's a pretty good idea. Okay, excellent. Just wanted to have an idea of the community that's planning into the near future. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And that is all. I want a
Okay,
head count.
Thank you, Charlie. Justin, you have the megaphone.
All right. Well, hello. I was just kind of Halcyon has been such a beacon for sharing the Burning Man experience outside of Burning Man. And when I first went to Burning Man, I was like, "Oh my God, these are the people I want to see and I want to know." And it motivated me every year to go back so I could be around those people. And I started seeing Halcyon in places outside of the playa in just full pink, in full burner regalia. And it was so inspiring because I'm like, well, this guy isn't just doing it for that week in the desert. This guy's living it every day of his life. And I guess I can do that too. And, I started building tiny art cars, bicycle-based art for Burning Man, and had kind of the experience that, well, these are really fun, around town. I don't have to only use it that week in the desert. And what I found was that people who would come up to me when I bring my art out in my neighborhood, just on a daily basis, I kind of found that interested people were interesting people. And so it's just that idea of, if you put yourself out there in your own community, you kind of fly your freak flag, you pull those people out of your community. They find you, they come up to you. People who aren't interested, they ignore you. But people who are like turned on by what you're doing, they come right up to you. Oh my God, what is this? Who are you? What's going on here? And then you start meeting these people. And I'm just curious, Halcyon, maybe you could talk a little bit about what it's like to sort of fly your freak flag, as it were, at least in the eyes of people outside of Burning Man in the community on a daily basis.
I love that story and that observation. I'm after like my third year of Burning Man, I remember like kind of complaining to my partner at the time, saying like, "Man, I have so much more fun when I'm wearing fur pants. I wish I could be at Burning Man all the time." And she's like, "Why can't you wear fur pants all the time?" And I was like, "Holy shit! The only thing I'm afraid of is people judging me." And so I started dressing up really flamboyantly to go downtown in San Diego, California. And sometimes people are pretty harsh, but more often I experience what you experience, which is that it's like you create a moat. You invite people in that are your tribe, and you repel people that aren't. Most people that don't want anything to do with you, they don't spend the energy to come over and say something rude. They just keep walking. And so for 20 years, I've had pink hair year round, because I love what it does. It's like this instant message. Hey, are you one of us? Are you one of us? And it's not just people who are dressing crazy and artists. It's anybody who is like, oh, I think this world is a little bit more cool and interesting than what I'm being trained to do on a daily basis. So one thing that in 2020, when we were asked, don't go to the Burning Man, or that's controversial, I guess I won't ever. But that's the 1 year I did not go out to the desert. And it's during the week that we traditionally do Burning Man, I set up a camp in my front yard and served ice cream to neighbors. And at first, I put a big sign saying, "Hey everyone, this is inspired by Burning Man. It's going to be down in a week. I promise. If it's bothering you, I promise it'll be gone in a week." And my neighbors freaking loved it. Like, they were so. I had no idea that my neighbors were so freak friendly, and there were so many people that are leading these normal lives, but in their heart, they're artists. In their heart, they want to give ice cream to one another. They want to bring their kids and show their kids that actually this is how people can be to each other. So occasionally you get batted down pretty hard. Occasionally you got to pay optimism tax. Occasionally someone rolls their eyes and makes you feel like an idiot. When you have community, reminds you that actually no, this is what we want. It makes it like the reward is so much greater. So cheers to riding your tall bike around, and anything that we do, large and small, to show this in every environment. It's so critical, and it just basically are establishing like, you can be into law of attraction or woo woo or whatever, but if you act and demonstrate a certain way, that's what you attract. That's the people that want to see that. So it's the simplest way to have more of what you want in the world is to be that.
Yeah, fly your freak flag in the metaverse.
Yes.
Are you guys able to hear me now?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So we only have 2 minutes left, and then
Can
we
you
need
hear
to
me
get you
now?
off to First Saturdays, and
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you
Can
can.
hear you.
That should be an interesting,
hear you.
like going from here in this digital world,
No,
and then
she can
out
hear you.
there into downtown
Raise
San
your hand.
Diego. It'll be
Yeah, I
Very
did raise
sweet.
my
interesting
hand.
to have both of those.
I don't see it raised.
Um,
Oh, I
I
have it
want
raised.
to thank you so much for joining us here, and wanted to say, do you have any final remarks or anything you'd like to say before? And I will be staying for another half hour. If anybody has questions that they want to ask or comments or they want to talk more, they're welcome to. But I give this
Sure.
last couple minutes to you,
I let
Halcyon.
I can hear Teal. Can I let Teal have her question
Oh,
and then I'll close?
yeah.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I could. I lost you again.
Teal?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Oh, thank you. Yay. I just wanted to extend my sincere love and gratitude to you, Athena and Halcyon, and everyone here in the metaverse. I am so inspired by the fact that you're bringing these principles to the metaverse. Personally, in my life, I feel, especially Halcyon with your Hug Nation group, that it's inspired me to leave these principles every single day in our community with our friends. And I've been so inspired to have gotten to meet many of our Zoom friends that I've only knew on Zoom. And I was so um, happy to connect in person. And I would say I want to see where this takes us about bringing these principles into the metaverse, and also into many regionals. Like I was just at Loveburn, and one of the things that I felt truly deeply in my heart is that what the differentiates just having some kind of party or festival and really being Burning Man is the principles and how we can connect with community and build community. And so I would encourage even more of those in regionals and to continue this path because it's been so inspirational in my life. And I just every single day I live by these, and it's been magical and transformational. So thank you all for bringing this and having these conversations. That's just what I wanted to say.
Yay!
Oh, thank you, Teal. It's like the perfect
Thank you.
closer.
Can I share a couple words?
Please, as
Okay,
long
yeah.
as you want. We're
So
on your time.
the first thing I was going to say is that I think it's an important reminder that as we embrace the principles, that you don't want to fall into the trap of policing people and shaming people that might not be getting it, or ideally we want to very gently and lovingly say, oh, you know what, actually what we do here is we don't sell stuff. We have decommodification, so we try to keep this place safe from this kind of marketing that you're doing. We do. I love, it's awesome that you're doing it, but here we try to do it safe, as opposed to being like, hey, huh, huh. You don't want to turn someone into a villain that may be, awesome. So just trying to be really kind and gentle, and then inspiring people through your role modeling is always so much more impactful than telling people what to do. And the other thing I wanted to say is that in this moment, things that are happening in my life and having the honor of being on stage and being able to ask questions and having this platform, like I'm feeling like in my power and really strong and like have so much that I want to share and really as a servant, and it just feels really beautiful. But I am constantly struggling and going through my cycles. A couple months ago, I felt so lost. I felt so I didn't know what I should be doing. I felt like I was failing in all these different ways, and I think that it's really important that we all recognize that, as Ron Boss said, we're all walking each other home. Sometimes we are leading, we are creating, we are so the sources of inspiration for others, and sometimes we need to lean on one another and ourselves some forgiveness and some patience. Know that we're all we're all up and down and back and forth, and it's through that recognition of this beautiful journey that we're all on, that we can be of service to one another on and in whatever way we can. Sometimes the way that we can be of service is, getting out of bed, and sometimes the way we can be of service is driving 20 hours to pick up a refugee. Thank you for letting me be here and share with you guys. I look forward to connecting more and having deeper conversations when I've got more time to be personal. And but it's a real treat and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Athena.
much, John.
Thank you so
It was
much.
just wonderful to have you here. I'm going to give you another hug. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you do a
Yes.
big hug?
We can do a big group hug. Sure. You want to do that?
Drop my bubble.
Weird.
All right.
So everybody turn your space bubble off. That's the button at 3 o'clock on your radial dial. Make sure that's off. And we're going to come together in the front and do a gigantic avatar mush hug.
Yeah.
Woo!
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Make all those avatars one.
Wow.
All the avatars
Wow.
one space.
Wow.
Bring it in.
Oh.
Bring it in. Oh, yeah.
Trippy, I love this.
This is awesome.
Here comes the tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle,
Oh,
tickle,
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 tickle, tickle, tickle.
Yay. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Halcyon. Thank you, Athena.
Awesome. Thank you,
Oh,
Halcyon.
this is a treat.
Thank you
Oh,
so
man, I don't want to
much.
leave.
I know, right? This is awesome.
All right. Can I have your consent to take a selfie?
Absolutely.
Take a selfie? Is that
Yeah.
your consent? Oh, see.
It's not official if unless there's a selfie.
See.
He's taking the selfie.
Halcyon's taking this
Oh,
out.
I thought I was. There you go. Yay! Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. I'm gonna be an ambassador of all this awesome of all of you and spread it into my world, and I encourage you to do the same. Thank you so much.
Love you, bud.
Thank you. Thank you so
Love
much.
you.
And
Thank
the
you.
easiest way to
Thank you.
exit Halcyon is just hit
Yes.
the title screen that's at 7 o'clock on your radial dial, and it'll take you out of the space.
7 o'clock. I do math.
Mountain.
Okay.
A little mountain-looking thing.
The little
Yes.
mountain
It's the
thing.
mountain.
There we
Boom.
go. Perfect. Boom. Boom.
And he's gone.
Does anybody else have any questions? I still have Chaos and Charlie Sand. Do you have a question that you wanted to ask, or was it specific?
Thank you for holding this.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay, thank
Very,
you.
very
I,
welcome.
It's my first time using this platform, and I have no idea how my hand is up, so I apologize.
No worries. No worries. If you hit the hand raise, so if you go to emojis, which is about like 1:30, 2 o'clock on your radial dial, there's a little hand raise at that same location in your emoji circle, and that hand raise also triggers the grander hand raise panel as well as the separate hand raise button. So it's a little confusing. So when somebody says, how many people have been to Burning Man? How many people went to the virtual burn? How many people attended the virtual burn? And then you put your hand up like this, it also triggers the hand raise. Yeah. Oh my God, lots of virtual burners. Awesome. We're all virtual burners because we're here. And this is also BRCVR. Yeah, see, and then everybody showed up on my hand raise, including myself. That's interesting. So did anybody else have any other comments or anything they wanted to say? Because now we're just an open conversation.
I'm curious, Athena. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Teal.
What is the future, the plans? Because I've been a little bit disconnected in the past couple of months. But what, as far as bringing the principles of Burning Man into the metaverse, is it just this platform? Is it just all space and building community? Or are you guys expanding to their platforms? I'm just really fascinated and curious about what this burning community metaverse looks like in the future, and what do you guys envision?
Well, the best way for the principles to spread throughout the metaverse is for all of us to take it with us. If we live it in our physical lives and in our digital lives, then it will spread amongst all the platforms. As far as BRCVR is concerned itself, we're year round. We're doing things all the time, this event included. The main virtual burn this year, we've decided to push off till like November-ish. We don't want to do it and the physical Burning Man at exactly the same time. Last year with Renegade Burn, we noticed that a lot of the artists and the theme camps, they wanted to go out to the desert. And for the ones that couldn't make it, it was nice having this digital space, but we were missing part of our community. And most of our team, Doug and I included, all want to go out to the desert as well. And it will be next to impossible to produce the virtual burn with all of us out on the playa. So we have decided to go to the physical burn and gather content. We're going to scan art and people and playa and take videos and then be able to present that to the community a few months later. How long that's going to take to process, we'll see. We're doing tests right now, and but that's the plan. And then the people who went to Burning Man can join us in the digital space, and the people that weren't able to go to Burning Man could also join us in the digital space, and we can all be together as one giant global community under the halo of the principles. So that's our plan. As far as branching out to other platforms, we've had other platforms reach out to us, but they all are really interested in commodifying what we're doing. So the reason why we work so well on AltSpace is that the community standards of AltSpace were built upon the principles of Burning Man. The original creators of AltSpace were burners, and it just meshed really well. So as long as we can preserve the principles, then branching out onto other platforms, being interoperable with other platforms is radically inclusive. But right now we have a multiverse of a lot of different walled gardens, and not all the walled gardens understand the ethos and why it is so important to the for this community to thrive.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that, and I look forward to meeting you in person, Athena, on the
I
playa.
look forward to meeting you too. Absolutely.
She
Absolutely.
looks
I'm so
just
excited.
like that in person, by the way.
I do look just like this. Maybe not with the purple hair. By the way, if you are going to be on Playa with us this year,
Yeah.
we are going to have a come as your avatar party. So you might want to go ahead and start about thinking about your outfit, which one of your avatars on any platform, does not have to be the AltSpace avatar, but whatever avatar is your favorite, come dressed as that avatar. We're going to have a nice little gathering on the physical playa, and then we'll do it again in the virtual. It'll be a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Oh, and this year we're working on the technology so that we can be together. So if you're not able to come to the physical playa, we are going to create something called the window, which allows you to come into a world and go to a screen, and you'll be able to see the physical playa and talk to burners who are in their physical avatar while you're in your digital avatar, and you'll be able to meet at this window and have a conversation. The technology is tricky. We're working on that right now. Connectivity on the playa is not that great, but if we solve all the technology problems, then we'll all be able to be together. Consciousness to consciousness. I know, I'm so excited. Anybody else? Any questions? Just go ahead and speak up.
Very
There's a
cool.
loud barking dog right outside my door.
Really? That's
I
cool.
said, any questions? And this dog just started barking and barking and barking and
You don't
barking, and
speak
I'm
dog.
like, well, I don't
Are
understand
you
dog.
in Barcelona? Barcelonina?
Hey, Athena.
Yes.
I mean, I was assume.
Much
the
like
game is
much
going
like we
to
have
Barcelona.
regionals, which kind of allow burners in areas to get together. Since the virtual burn like dissolves physical barriers,
Mm-hmm.
should we do regionals but like timelies, or we do smaller party style events like once every other month, or like do some kind of you know much like Burning Man had music and art, and there was like the forum has been a really rad intellectual forum, but frankly, like the events in alt space that I've had most fun at and I found to be the most inspiring have been the BRC VR events. So could we do smaller events, you know, kind of building up to that burn, where it's like not so much production for you guys, but just once a month there's a once a month burner social or something like that.
Yeah, we did do the Friday night parties every once a month. We were doing a Friday night party.
Yeah.
Do it
Is
again.
that still happening?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still happening. So we had our film
Okay.
festival last month. So we were doing Friday night parties, and then we decided to like mix it up and try other things than just like DJ in a cool space and everybody get together. So we did our film festival, which was last month, and then I think March we just all got really busy. You know, when you build really cool, beautiful things, other people come to you and say, "Help us build our really cool, beautiful thing." And so we got really busy. We're premiering a project at South by Southwest in honor of Breonna Taylor, and that's next weekend. So it was like, oh, we're like a small team. And so we're like, oh, we're just going to get that done. And then we have another world that we're going to be premiering for a sport and bringing their community into the metaverse. And that's going to be really cool. I think our next Friday night party is going to be, is it April 1st? I'm not joking.
I don't
by the
know, but
way.
we need to get a Friday night party going. Is what the bottom line is here.
The bottom line is, I think on the calendar we were looking at April 1st because it was a Friday and we love April 1st. Big Rock Creative was founded on April 1st. April 3rd was the anniversary of when when BRC VR, when the original 2014 version of the Playa was uploaded onto AltSpace. So that was the very first time the Playa came onto this platform. So it's sort of our anniversary weekend, and we were going to do a party that weekend. So
Sounds like a great idea.
but we're going to try to do it once a month and mix it up, not just parties, but film festivals. And Halcyon reminded me yesterday when I was on a call with him that in 2009 or 2012, maybe it was 2012, I premiered his film that he did about Pink Heart at the Egyptian Theater in LA. And it made me realize, oh my God, we should show his film here at the Pink Heart camp. You know, one of the things we did with our film festival is created worlds that went with each film. So we had 3 films, and we had 3 worlds. We had one that was all about the 2018 art from Art on Fire. We had this beautiful honorary world for Larry Harvey. That's Larry right there, who gave us the 10 principles and most of the philosophy of Burning Man and Burning Man itself. So and he was known for this Stetson hat that he's wearing right there. So there's a big hat with photos of him, and we showed this great documentary about Larry Harvey in there. And then the last world that we did in the evening was TV-free Burning Man, which was the first time there was actually broadcast television happening at Burning Man. It might be the only time. Is Justin still here? I don't see Justin anymore. Justin was the producer of that. He was here earlier in Orange, and so we reproduced his theme camp exactly the way it looked and showed the films exactly as how he did show them on the Playa. So we could take John Halcyon's film and show it at Pink Camp, which we have in here. So maybe we'll do that on April 1st. Sounds like a great idea. Show the film and then have a DJ and play at Pink Heart. I think that's a great idea, right, Doug?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, what are we
I
doing?
think I have his film. I do have his film. It's in your garage.
His film is in my garage. Someone should dust it off. Um,